Yo, when it comes to state politics, we really have to pay attention. A lot of states really serve as the birth ground for laws that end up becoming a national trend that could impact you. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a law that looks like it's going to be born in Florida, but it could become the norm because at the end of the day, it means big dollar signs for landlords and companies who invest in residential real estate, and it's gonna hit up your pockets something awful. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. If you're renting, if you know someone who's renting, definitely share this video. Let's dive in, let's get it. I'm Marcus, you're the channel, The Debt Free Dad, where we're talking finances, financial takes, financial topics, attorney reactions, current events, trending news, all that good stuff. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button so you can subscribe, become a member of the Intellectual Savage family, support the channel. And the best thing that you can do right now, and is absolutely free, is hit the like button because it'll push this video out to more people. Florida being Florida, what does that mean? Well, Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis actually signed a new law into place that's going to greatly impact renters, and it has a strong potential that this law could become something that's the national norm in most states. So let's talk about it. Typically, when you rent a place, you're required to pay the first month rent and a deposit. Now, the amount of the deposit varies depending on the place, depending on the landlord or the company that's leasing or renting the property. So I know for me, when I was renting my place out, it would be pay the first month rent up front, and the security deposit is equal to 1 month rent as well. Well, what is the benefit of the security deposit? We all know, but I'm gonna cover it just to cover our bases. The security deposit is provided and the tenant pays that. So, in the event that they leave and there's damage to the place, the landlord has some recourse to be able to contribute to the repairs of the property. When a tenant pays a deposit, that deposit is held in an interest bearing account. At the end of the lease period, if the tenant doesn't damage the property or if the damage to the property doesn't utilize all of the deposit funds, the tenant is entitled to that money back plus any interest that accrued. Well, the problem for tenants is that that's a lot of money up front. If rent is $2,000 and the deposit is equal to 1 month rent, they're talking about people having to come up with $4,000 up front. So it does cost a lot of money up front. So, in an effort to help renters or fatten their pockets, Ron DeSantis signed the bill into law that would allow for those who are renting homes to completely ignore and wipe out the deposit in exchange for a monthly fee that's tacked on to the rent. Now, let's think about it. How does it work? Again, DFD is renting you his place for $2,000 a month. You need to give me $4,000 up front, the deposit, and you need to give me 1 month rent up front for the first month. So that way you're good. You just handed me $4,000. It's a 2-year lease. At the end of the 2 years, if you don't damage the place, you get back your $2,000 deposit plus any interest that it earned over or during those 2 years. Now, how does this monthly fee work? Well, they're pushing it as a way to help renters so it can be more affordable. So, this is how the bill is written. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Instead of paying a deposit, you would pay the first month's rent. And instead of paying a deposit, you'll pay an extra fee every month that is tacked on to your actual rent. So if the deposit would have been $2,000 to match that first month's rent, if you can't pay the deposit, instead of paying that deposit, what you're going to do is sign this 2-year lease. And since you don't have the $2,000 deposit, instead of paying $2,000 a month for rent, you're going to pay an extra $100. You're going to pay $2,100 a month. That extra $100 is in exchange for the deposit that you didn't have or couldn't afford to pay. So DFD, that don't really sound that bad. Yeah, it's a little bit more money, but it's not that bad. Well, here's the difference. That extra fee is one that the landlord actually keeps. If you pay the deposit, you would get the deposit back. If you can't afford the deposit and you elect to pay the additional fee, That's money that the landlord gets to keep and gets to pocket. The other thing that we know are going to happen, okay, if I were a landlord, someone didn't have the $2,000 deposit, me, because DFD is a good guy, I would tack on, okay, instead of $2,000 a month, your rent is going to be $2,100 a month. The $100 is the additional fee. After 20 months, when that additional $100 ended up becoming $2,000, I personally would remove the fee because DFD is a nice guy and a great landlord. But do you really think that that's what companies are going to do? Companies have an option here to be able to collect an additional fee indefinitely during the lifetime of the lease. Not to mention the normal rises of inflation and the rental cost that goes up every year. So tenants aren't getting anything back. This is really peeling more money out of their pocket. They're going to end up paying more for rent. And when they leave, they aren't going to get that deposit back. I can remember making sure that, when I left a place, when I rented it, I would actually hire a cleaning crew to come and clean it because I wanted to, it was my business. I was like, I got to get all of my deposit money back. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this law in the comments. Do you think this is more geared towards benefiting renters, or do you think it's more harm for renters? Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if this becomes the national norm. Who do you think sponsored this bill in Florida? All of the companies and the political action committees that were supported by industries who play in the residential rental market. Of course, that's kind of the name of the game. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the video on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions.